Welcome to Anything But Ordinary, the podcast that explores the extraordinary world behind the world, the unordinary people and businesses that create the extraordinary bubble around high-profile lives. I am Zoe Jackson, and in each episode I sit down with inspiring individuals, from founders and creators to pioneers and disruptors, who are redefining success and carving out their own paths in business and in life. We dive into the personal challenges, triumphs and turning points that make their journeys anything but ordinary. This show is your reminder that success isn't one size fits all, and life really is anything but ordinary. Caprice, hi, how are you? How are you today? Nice for you to join us on the Anything But Ordinary podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I'm such a big fan. From the business side, you're such an inspirational businesswoman. And I would love to kind of start it and take it back, because you are a businesswoman in every single sense. And, I have followed some of the podcasts that you have done previously, and a lot of the stuff that you have done and spoken about, where you have spoken about when you started in the fashion industry, it really was, even though you were a model, it was all very quite tactical. You always had a very good business head on you.
Yeah. I think that stems from coming from a single household. My mom has always been a grafter, and that's what I've seen, and that's all I know. So, and the modeling world was, it was fierce. It was scary. It was cutthroat. It was vain, and I freaking loved it. I did. I just learned how to play the game, but play it a bit better, and obviously, and this goes for everyone, you work to your strengths. Was I really the tallest? No. Was I the skinniest? Definitely not. But I saw a niche in the market as well. And, I had the boobs, I had the hips, I had the attitude, and I played to my strengths, and I helped like launch and catapult the Lad Mags out of this stratosphere for years and years and years and years and years. They were making a fortune, and I was on the cover of a Lad Mag every month somewhere in the world for about 10 years. It was a good run. It was a
good run, yeah. But you had a moment which actually was the breakthrough when you came over to the UK, which moved you into the Lad Mags. What was that moment?
Yeah, so I got to England, and I was a replacement for somebody else at the National TV Awards. They called up my publicist, and they said, listen, so-and-so just dropped out. We need somebody, and we need them tonight. We need them now. And he said, okay, I got the girl for you. And so I went to a PR agent, and they had these two dresses. One was like this pink Barbie doll thing, and the other one was see-through. Everything was showing but my nipples and my Marks and Spencer's knickers. And so I said, yeah, I'll take that one. And it was sort of an Elizabeth Hurley moment. And the next day I was thrusted into the public eye everywhere, on the cover of every single national newspaper.
And was that a tactical move on your part? Did you think that's going to get me noticed, or?
Well, I mean, a lot of things that I do in my life is very calculated and tactical, but this one wasn't. It just happened very, very organically. So I guess it was just all meant to be, and I'm very grateful for that, actually, because I come from, my mom, she had ups and downs. She has success, and then and then she lost everything, and success again. And for the majority of my youth, I watched mom really graft and really had to get on. I came from a very humble background. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And that's one thing, getting there and having the public eye notice who you are. But it's another thing making it last for the last 25 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a whole other ball game.
Well, yeah. And it's absolute testament to what a businesswoman you are. But talking about, so being a woman can be tricky to navigate in the business world. as it is. But
Yeah.
being coming from a supermodel background with its own stereotypes, was that tricky?
I still have to fight for credibility and I have to work double hard,
Yeah.
because of the stereotype. But there's one thing that I stopped doing is being the victim. I just take
Mm,
responsibility. Okay. I'm blessed because a lot of things that happen in my life are because of the way I looked. I'm playing to my strengths. But then it's been harder because there's been a stereotype and people wouldn't take me serious or haven't taken me serious because one, I'm a woman and I still think that we still live in a man's world. And
mm,
two, because I come from a model background. But whatever, you know what? But it's all good. It's all a part of my journey,
yeah.
And this is one thing I always tell people: please don't be the victim. Please don't.
No.
Just take responsibility. If something's not working, find out how to make it work, and don't blame other people. Just look inside and make it happen, because we're the only ones who are going to make anything happen in our life. We're the only ones who could do it. Us blaming other
Absolutely.
people is not going to get you anywhere. It's not
No,
going
no, no.
to service you at all.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. So um, I turned my brand, I turned myself, because I was getting all this crazy publicity, and I thought, this is all, I'm not doing anything with this. It's
Mm.
crazy. So I thought, I want to do a license deal with somebody. Now everyone knows what a license deal is. Everyone's done it,
Did no one know back then? Was it something that's not really not heard of?
Exactly.
Oh.
Nobody was doing it. So this idea was not only foreign, but absolutely ludicrous. And I I did my research, and there was a CEO, Terry Green. He was running Debenhams. Now, Debenhams was the big thing back then. So try to get an appointment with him, and he said no, no can do. Um,
He
and
said no. He said no to you.
Well, he said no because of this. Because I told him about this idea, and he was like, "Are you crazy?
Mm.
Investing a few million into a brand? You don't just launch a brand and it just happens. You have to
Yeah.
invest quite a bit of liquidity into it."
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, "But I'm getting all this publicity and I'm not doing anything with it. Every single day I'm in the nationals. And I'm so grateful for that, but I'm not doing anything with this." And I didn't care about the fame thing. Well, you've probably read, I'm not shameful to say I like making money. I'm not from money, and I love my independence. I love making money. I just love it. I
Yeah.
love waking up in the
Mm.
morning and having a passion, a drive to do something creative, and also to get rewarded for it. So um so anyway, so going back and forth, he said no. Of course, I went through I did play the victim card. And I'm like, this is not fair. It's because I'm a woman, because I'm a model. I always said, "Terry, listen, you create awareness that creates sales. It's a very easy formula. It'll work." And he rightly so said, "Well, I haven't seen it work, and I don't know if I'm willing to gamble this." And so I went back to, I played the victim card for a bit, and then I just said, "Okay, that's it. Stop, stop. No, it's not going to happen for me just blaming people. Just
Mm.
stop. How am I going to go and pitch it again, and pitch it in a way where he's going to go for it?" Anyways, so that's what I did, and he went for it, and the stock sold out within 2 weeks, and this whole
Yeah. And then
this
this is the
whole
lingerie. It's the
that was
lingerie.
the lingerie. That was by Caprice lingerie,
Yeah, by
and
Caprice.
And yeah, I mean, I was sort of the pioneer in England with this whole, licensing deal thing. Sorry, I should
Absolutely.
explain. Licensing deal is me giving somebody my name, my likeness. I'm wearing their stuff, but they invest all the money and they get all the upside, and they just
Hmm.
give me either a percentage of sales or just a flat out fee, whatever. So that's
Yeah.
what a license deal, but they do all the work.
And you see it all the time now. So in every single brand.
Everyone's doing
Yeah.
it now. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone's doing it.
What was the turning point that made you realize that you wanted to move away from the modeling world
Yeah.
into creating your own brand? Because, obviously you're entrepreneurial, but what was that turning point?
Yeah, well, I saw everyone was jumping on the bandwagon and they were very successful at it. And I thought, you know what, eventually a Love Island girl or whatever is going to come along, and they're going to say, Cap, we don't want you anymore. We need
Mm.
fresh blood. And so I thought, while I'm at the top of my game, I just don't want to be held down to this one outlet, Debenhams, and they could drop me at any point. I want to distribute my brand. I want scale. I want to distribute it worldwide.
Yeah.
So, and that's when I went to them and I said, I'm gonna distribute on my own. I'm gonna be my own distributor. I'm gonna do this on my own. And they thought, what? Are you crazy? Yeah, I was crazy. I mean, it's a lot of work. It
Mm.
was crazy for 10 years. Wait, was it 10 or 15 years? I distributed myself, and then I just didn't have the capability or the resources to scale to the degree that I wanted. So then I went back to a licensed deal again. And then I
Yeah.
expanded to By Caprice Home. I had By Caprice Lingerie. I had
Sure.
By Caprice Glam. I had so much. So, it was a good journey, and there were some things that didn't work out. Like I had these hair straighteners, By Caprice hair straighteners. That was a major fail. And I always tell people, sometimes as an entrepreneur, the best thing you could do is to walk away from an investment. It's just not working. Don't keep putting all your resources, your money. If it's not working, sometimes the smartest move that you can make is just to walk away.
Yeah.
And
And I
just,
think as well, when you're growing a business and you are scaling, there's going to be so many times where you're going to fail and have mistakes.
of
And it's
course,
just taking that as a learning and moving on from that, and looking at, yeah.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. And, us as entrepreneurs, we are an absolute positive group of people. And I say we're positive because, yes, we have our ups and downs all the time. Just accept it. When you have a down, what we do is we just get back up and we keep fighting.
Yeah.
That's what entrepreneurs are, and that's what
That's what we do. Yeah. That is exactly what an entrepreneur
yeah,
is, basically, and does.
yeah.
So you're scaling. So you've got By Caprice Home and Love by Caprice,
Mhm,
still very much going now, very, very strong brands.
mhm,
And you're scaling now into I think I read that it was going into the US.
mhm. Yeah.
Has that been tricky? Has there been some different things to navigate through a different market?
Yeah, it's always tricky, especially with that kind of volume, but now I have a license deal. I went back to a license deal, and it's much better for me. So somebody else is doing it for me, and I'm just
Yeah.
giving them my name, and I'm doing all the marketing. It's much
Okay.
better because now I have other things that I want to do, especially being a mom. It consumed every ounce of me. And
Yeah,
and
it does. Yeah.
sometimes the return was great, and some seasons it wasn't so great. So it was a little bit unpredictable. So now, I mean, now what I'm doing that I love so much, and I know we're going to roll into it eventually, maybe we could roll into it now, is my movie making. This is
Yes.
the most excited I've been in a very, very long time.
I
And
have
this
to
is
ask,
what
do you love Christmas films?
I'm obsessed with.
You love Christmas.
I love it. You know
It's great.
what? So I've done so much TV work, and I've done a lot of toxic TV work. And I'm so
Yeah.
blessed right now where I thank God. I literally thank God that I'm able to wake up and not have to do this kind of TV anymore, because I'm financially in a place where I don't have to do that. So all I want to do is use my platform and put positivity out there.
Yeah.
The world kind of went a little bit cuckoo, and I just want positivity. I just want to inspire people. I want people to laugh. I want people to smile. I want people to feel warm and cuddly inside when they
Yeah.
watch things that I'm affiliated with. And obviously for my kids as well, I want to be a good role model for my kids. We all do.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing Christmas movies and romances too.
And romance.
So
But
yeah, yeah.
I was going to say, there's nothing more they're more heartfelt and joyful than Christmas, really. To a lot of people, that's what they associate Christmas with. So
Yeah,
brilliant.
exactly. Yeah,
But you're,
and I've been I it's a lot, it's crazy amount because I produce and star in these movies, but
mm,
I've been able to sell them worldwide. So it's been really great, and I'm like a machine now. I'm just throwing them out. I just finished one. I'm doing another one in Ibiza, and that's why I'm here, because I'm doing a
okay,
recce.
nice.
Um,
Hmm.
I'm doing another, but obviously not a Christmas in Ibiza. I'm doing romance. So rom-com. And yes, they're formulaic. And yes, you know how it's going to
Oh,
end.
I love
I don't
formulaic. It's
care.
great. We
It's,
all know how it's going to end, but we also want to watch it.
I know, I know, and the tension and the build up and
Yeah.
we know they're going to get together, but how and when and come on. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so much fun. I love what I do now so much.
So the Christmas film you've just finished, is it finished now? You've produced
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah, we just finished it. I did it. It's a Christmas. It's a Scottish Christmas secret, and
mm.
we just finished it a few weeks ago. So my kids were like, "Mommy, can you learn now how to? Can you learn how to cook now and just be mommy 24/7?" I said, "Yeah, of
Oh.
course, of course." That lasted all of 4 days. So I'm like, "Sorry,
It's
boys."
all about balance. The thing is, if you're like, you are a businesswoman, you're very entrepreneurial, you like to be busy, it's hard, isn't it? Because you want to do the both. Be a
It's
present mum, but
hard.
also, yeah.
It's hard. I mean, we just
Mm,
sleeping is not a part of the equation, but
yeah.
it's okay. You know, we're blessed. I'm blessed, at least that I could wake up and I love what I do, and I still play mommy. I mean, I'm a horrible cook. It is true. I'm a terrible cook. My poor kids eat like even food that I think, oh my gosh, did they just eat that?
We can't
But
be great at everything. We can't be
I
great at
know
everything.
I'm definitely not good at that. Holy smokes. But you know, I love being a mommy. I think it's out of everything that I've done, that's the
Yeah.
greatest thing that I've ever done. Oh my God.
It's
If
the
I had
most
a
rewarding.
choice, I'd have 10 kids, but I started quite late. So that boat sailed. But I'm very blessed with my two, and then I have three step kids. So I'm super blessed.
Oh, yeah, very blessed, very blessed.
Yeah.
I'm a mum also, and actually, I've gained a lot of inspiration from my mum. You did mention your mother earlier. Like
Yeah.
she was a massive driving force
Yeah. Oh,
in your life.
absolutely. I mean, even you and I, our kids, we are their
Yeah,
biggest inspiration, you
definitely. Yeah.
know? And so it's important what we do because it inspires them and it shapes their future of who they're going to be, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know, since having kids, I have like I got my mojo, my ambition, my fire back because
Yeah.
everything I do for them, you know?
Exactly. I feel exactly the same. Obviously we're on completely different levels, but I feel exactly the same, completely motivated.
Yeah.
I run my own recruitment agency, a company called Sharon Wild Staffing, and which I founded only a couple of years ago. So, but in this short time, what I have realized as well is the curveballs that can be thrown at you as a business owner and trying to juggle that all. I mean, I'm sure you've had times where you've had real kind of curveballs thrown at you.
You know what? So you know what I always say to people, and we have curveball like 24/7, and
Yeah.
I've been able to manage it differently because you know what? You can't control your surroundings. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you react to them.
Yeah.
And that's been a game changer with me. And
Mm-hmm.
what I want you to do the next time that you have a drama, like a really, really big drama, i.e., personally or professionally, you know, if you're doing a contract, if you're in the middle of a contract and they're just absolutely taking the mick, and you just sometimes not sometimes, quite a lot, we act emotionally, right? So,
Yeah, of
and
course.
that could be really bad. So
Mm-hmm.
what I've been doing, this is, by the way, the best advice anyone has ever given to me in my entire life. They said, listen, when somebody instigates a big emotion, just pause, just go silent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say a word. Take the emotion out. When the emotion's out, then you can engage. But whatever you do, do not make decisions, especially important decisions, on an emotional note. Just pause. Just take a beat. Take a day. Take 2 days. Take 3 days. Do not go back until you could take the emotion out. And a lot of the times, those problems totally resolve themselves.
Yeah.
And in business, this is really important, or even in your relationship with my husband when he drives me nuts. I don't go on the attack anymore. I just goes completely silent. I look at him and I just walk out of the room, because it's not going to service anyone to go on the attack. And 9 times out of 10, he'll come into the room and he'll apologize.
I
So
think it's so true. It's a really, really good way and good mindset to kind of adapt. Actually, I was recently working with some lawyers, and they were talking about exactly that. They advise their clients, if you do not respond for 48 hours, they sit on everything for 48 hours until response, because otherwise it's too emotional, too emotive.
emotional. Yeah, and sometimes they're completely irrational, when you make emotional decisions. And then you think, oh, why did I do that once the emotion is gone? So now that was a really great piece of advice, because I would act emotionally a lot.
Yeah.
And now I don't. And remember, silence is power. It
Science is
really,
power.
really is. Silence is power. Just try it. Try it.
I don't know if you're happy to talk about this or not, but I read that you did lose a lot of money
Mhm.
in an investment, a
Yeah.
property investment back in 2008. Is that something you've spoken about, or do you speak about a lot?
Yes. No, I mean, I did. I mean, a lot of people took a real hit in 2008.
Yeah.
And I had a huge property portfolio at the time, and I took a hit. And I also took a hit because I was exchanging money, because I was with my lingerie business. I was buying currency. I was buying my products in one currency and then getting paid in another currency. So I'd have to do a lot of arbitrage. So I got really hit in 2008 and 2009. And again, like I told you, as entrepreneurs, this is what happens. We have this roller coaster, and even in the
Mm,
modeling world, one year you're up, the next year you're down. What you have to do is just learn from it. And what I learned is to hedge more. So I don't put all my eggs into one basket anymore. I have
mm.
different business interests. So if
Different
one's
investments,
not
yeah.
working, this one is, and it balances off, it
Mm,
balances
mm.
up. So that was a really, really valuable lesson. You know what I think as well? I think in life that God doesn't throw things at you for a laugh.
No.
He does it to learn for a reason,
Hmm.
and just take advantage of that. Just all your misfortunes. Again, don't blame other people. Look at it. What could I have done different? What could I do better in the future?
Yeah.
And get back up and just learn from it and move forward. And you just make better decisions as a result.
Yeah. Yeah. Take the learning from it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very key.
yeah,
Um, you're also huge in philanthropy. That's something you're very passionate about.
yeah,
I've read
yeah,
that you're part of an ambassador for multiple charities. So
yeah,
the brain tumor research being one.
yeah, yeah. And this, I don't go around telling everyone how much money I give to all my charities, because that's just not my shtick. But
Yeah.
but I do believe that life is a circle, a cycle. So you give, you
Yeah.
take, you give, you take, you give, you take. And again, with my platform, I'm so many blessings what God has given me, and I want to give back. So a lot of my charities are either, like with the brain tumor research, I was diagnosed with a lovely little growth on my head, a tumor. It was a benign tumor, but it
Mm.
was a grower. And so the doctor was like, I think we need to take this bugger out. And when I was diagnosed with it initially, they didn't know it was benign. So I didn't know if I was going to live or die. It was pretty
Yeah.
awful. But anyways, they cut me open from here to here, took off my skull, took out the growth completely, thank God. That was 8 years ago, and stitched me back up. So I was really lucky I caught that in time, because a
Yeah.
lot of the times with these tumors, even the benign tumors, when they start to grow, you could wake up one morning and the whole left side of your body is just paralyzed forever.
Yeah. And also you're so lucky that I guess you haven't had any side effects from
No,
having it.
Well,
removed?
that's not entirely true. When after the surgery, when they do brain surgery, there's so many risks. I
Yeah.
mean, the list is like goes on and on and on. But for me, I mean, first and foremost, I was grateful that I woke up, So when I woke up in ICU with all these tubes coming out of every single hole in my body, I was like celebrating, yes,
Mm,
thank you.
mm.
I was praying to my dad because my dad's up in heaven. I'm like, oh, thank you, Dad. Thank you, God. I woke up. And then number two, everything was functioning. But as you heal with this kind of surgery, it does take time. And I was forgetful, and there were minor side effects, which to me mean nothing
Yeah.
now that I have, I have my health back. So,
Yeah. And your life,
and over the
yes.
years, it took a few years, but I recovered from everything, and it's gone forever. So thank God. Yeah.
So actually, when I mentioned earlier about my mum being an inspiration, she actually, so in 1989, she fell and had a brain hemorrhage, but from a brain angioma that she didn't know was there. But and from that, she has had, unfortunately, she's got impaired vision, which is something called, I've got to get it right. It's called a hemianopia, which it restricts your vision. She's dyspraxic, dyslexic, and epileptic. But what is really, she always says, I wonder what would have happened if it'd been much later on with all the research, like a charity like, the brain tumor research
Yes, yes. What would
does.
have happened? God
Yeah.
forbid. God forbid if she didn't know about it. So
Mm.
that's another reason, God's saying, listen, you've got a lot more years ahead of you. We got to find this, and we got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know it's awful that she was impacted, but she's healthy and she's
Oh,
good.
yeah. Oh,
And
yes. And for me, it was a massive pivot in my life because it was a pivot in her life. But for me, that inspired me to, she was very career driven. Her career sadly was taken away. If it happened much later, round about now, maybe the research would have moved on and she may not have been left with the side effects that she's had. But for me, it inspired me just to take opportunities in life and business and career. So it was a complete pivot for me, absolutely.
yeah,
But I think it's amazing that the brain tumor research charity, it's really something that people
you know
should.
what's so nice as well that I love about it is that it creates a community, because it's
Yeah.
really scary when you're diagnosed with something like this, because not much is known. And at least 8 years ago, not much was spoken about. And probably with your mom as well, when she was diagnosed, nobody would talk about it.
No,
So
no,
it,
no, no.
it becomes a very scary, isolated space. So brain tumor research, they create this really beautiful community to help people, and to help people that are affected by it, even family members, to deal with this, and the
Yeah.
research, and great doctors, and so it's a really important charity that I've been involved with ever since my recovery.
Yeah, and it's an amazing thing to get involved with. And what we'll do is we'll put on our show notes actually underneath a link so that people can follow
That'd be
and
amazing.
yeah, and
That
have
would
a
be
look at it.
amazing. Super amazing.
You've experienced so many different industries.
Mhm.
Um, for me, you're a titan in the kind of world of women in business.
Mhm.
Um, what has been the most unexpected lessons? Maybe we've already touched upon this, but
Yeah.
what have been the most unexpected lessons that you've learned along the way?
That it's never too late to do anything.
Mm,
And I think we are our own worst enemies. And I'm the prime example with my acting career. I'm 53 years old now, and I'm doing something, and I'm doing it successfully, more so than I ever did when I was in my 20s. So, um, and I'm doing it now because, as you get older and you mature, the fear goes away, and I was able just to go for it. I've always wanted to do this ever since I was in my 20s.
yeah,
I love acting. I love Christmas movies. I love romances, and I just couldn't figure out how to, and nobody would take me serious, and nobody would, the parts weren't coming. And so I think for anyone watching this, don't ever put an age Don't ever fear age. You freaking
No.
go for it. You
Yeah.
can get anything you want. You are your own worst enemy. You are stopping yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody else is stopping you from success but you. So freaking go for it. And I'm a prime example to be acting successfully in movies that are selling worldwide at 53 for the first time. It's I don't care who you I don't care what platform you have. It's unheard of.
Mm.
So don't you dare, if you have a dream, I don't care your what you have in your mind as your limitation. You freaking go for it. Go
Yeah.
for it.
Go for it. And I love that. Just give a little bit less of a shit as well, in terms of as you get older, you just care a little bit less, which is liberating because it allows you to do so much more if you allow it and take the opportunity.
Absolutely. And you're
Yeah.
so much more confident as a
Yeah.
result as well.
It's
You
so
know?
true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what is your anything but ordinary piece of advice that you've received that has shaped your journey over life?
I think we sort of touched on the best advice for me is to don't make decisions emotionally. Just
Yeah.
take a step back, pause, wait for that emotion to go, and then engage. That was really a game changer for me. A
Amazing.
game changer for me. Please, everyone, try it once. Just if you're going to take anything out of this entire podcast segment on Caprice, take this and just run with it and do it once today or tomorrow. Whenever somebody is coming at you and you just want to go at them emotionally, just stop,
Yeah.
pause, walk away from it, and you will see a miracle happen. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. I'm 100% taking that on board today. I'm going to channel that because I'm sure there'll be something that comes up today or this
Something will
week.
come up.
So thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Caprice. It's been amazing to have you on and join us for the Anything But Ordinary podcast. An absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Anything But Ordinary. I hope the conversation gave you a little inspiration, maybe a new perspective, or just reminded you there's no such thing as a straight path when it comes to success. If you love what you heard, it would mean the world if you could follow, subscribe, or leave a little review. It really helps us keep sharing these incredible stories. And if you want to see more behind the scenes or get in touch, all the info you need is in the show notes. Until next time, keep being curious, keep challenging the ordinary, and remember, the most interesting lives rarely follow the rules.